Yo, welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill, y'all. I apologize for my tardiness, man. I had some serious technical difficulties, but we all good now. I worked it out. Um, it's Saturday, season started. I was so excited last week. It's finally here. We
Mhm.
had a great week of basketball. Chill, how you feel?
Mhm.
How you feel about the season finally being here?
Okay, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, can y'all relax on my man real quick? Like we had a little bit of technical difficulties. That's all. It wasn't like we just forgot about y'all and we just oh shit, I got something to know. Well, we was trying to get here. We had some technical difficulties. We got it worked out, but we back in effect. Absolutely, we are. Yo, Ox, man, you talked about this all week. We talked about this a week ago. Basketball season is here, yo.
Yeah.
Basketball season is here. We are in effect, man. I'm excited about these young boys. I'm excited about the vets coming back. I'm excited about, and I know you hate it, but the Laker cartel. I'm excited about the Lakers being good. I don't think that they're going to be a great regular season team, but I'm excited about them being good off the strength that it just makes the game better. It just does. I do. And I'm excited about the Kings, too. I am. I'm excited about the Kings. I want to talk about them. I do.
Yeah, well, we got the Lakers tonight, so
Mhm.
I mean, off a back to back, I'm sure we handled them,
Mhm.
especially after last night. I mean, but AD is playing amazing.
Mhm.
He's
Is that in
playing.
your building, or is that in your building, or is that
No,
in?
it's down
Okay,
in
it's in Los Angeles.
down in
Okay,
Staples Center.
all right.
Um,
For the record, Ox, it'll always be the Staples Center. I don't care what
right,
they rename it. I don't care what the crypto.com arena. It's always
right.
be the Staples Center for me. Always.
As long as that building is right there on Figueroa, it will be the Staples Center. No
I can't call it nothing else. I'm trying to warm up to the crypto.com arena. And no, it's the Staples
Yeah.
Center. Uh-uh.
Let's run through these quick couple super chats we got. We got one from one unemployment. He says, "Damn man, my glorious KD failed me last night. Instead of worrying about the Legault, I need to worry about the Suns making the second round."
Their offense looks a little bit better, though. I will say
It
that.
does.
The offense looks a little bit better. Ox, you being a basketball guy and this one-on-one basketball that we live in today, it works in some senses, right? It does
Mhm.
work in a lot of senses, but in order for us to be more effective, yo, the ball got to move, man. The ball has to move, and we got to get defenses to play defense. And it's not that difficult to cover a team when it's one pass shot, when it's one pass one-on-one. It's not that difficult to slow a team down. I don't care how good your one-on-one plays are. It's not that difficult to do that. And with Phoenix, the ball looks like it's moving a little bit more. That's all. And I think that I think we'll see something different from Phoenix this year. I just think that the Western Conference is a nightmare, man. I do.
Um, I I like what I'm seeing for Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
It got a little stagnant in that second half last night, though.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point where I was watching a lot of um, pick and roll. And then you had Brad Bill on this corner, Royce O'Neal in that corner,
Mm-hmm.
and or no, it was the young fella Dunn in the other corner, and then you got Royce O'Neal kind of going like from short corner to short corner, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't move. That's not movement. You know what I
You're
mean?
not
Like
putting
that's
the
not.
defense on the heels when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're not. Mm-mm.
If I move, but the defense doesn't move with me, that's not off ball movement.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
That doesn't count as off ball movement. That's just me just relocating. You know what I
And it's
mean?
not that.
And if I'm relocating to an open spot, then maybe that can force the defense to adjust if I'm a threat there. But if I'm just walking from this side of the paint to the other side of the paint, and I got two shooters that are just standing in the corners watching
Sure.
a high pick and roll, then it's that's iso ball. Which like you said, iso ball isn't necessarily a bad thing. But when they had good flow going, and then they go into that kind of in the second half, and
Mm-hmm.
then LeBron goes off in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton hit some big shots. Reeves is balling last night.
Mm-hmm.
That right there will lose you the game, as we saw.
Yep.
So,
And to your point, when you talk about relocating, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing when you're relocating when a guy is getting downhill. Okay, so now what you're doing is you're giving him more space to operate, as opposed to if if I'm standing in the short corner and Ox is guarding me, if I move to the corner, Ox doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to do anything. He could just stay right there because I'm not doing anything, as opposed to if I'm in the short corner and Ox is guarding me and here comes the offense, or here comes the guy coming down here with the ball, then I move to the corner. Now Ox has to do something. He either has to commit to me, or he's got to commit to the dribbler coming downhill. And I see a lot. I've seen a lot of that with Phoenix, and it looked like they kind of got back to a little bit of that last night. So we'll see moving forward if the ball can continue to move. Because when you do that, you keep the defense on their heels. And when you keep the defense on your heels, I've always said this, Ox, when the ball is moving, people are moving. And when people are moving, you get the defense off balance.
Yep, definitely. Second super chat from my man Alan R. He says, Reeves or Monk? I'm gonna stay out of this one, chill.
No, I'm not getting involved in that either. That's not a conversation. Malik Monk, for what he does, he's better than Austin Reeves. I can appreciate Austin Reeves' ability to crack the long ball, but he is not nearly the spark that Malik Monk is. Not just as a bucket getter, but just his energy, what he is in transition, the one-on-one player that he is, even the defender that he is. Just so you guys know, I don't know how you. I don't know if you know the history of Malik Monk. James hated Monk walking out the door in Los Angeles. They just couldn't pay him. That was the problem. So he went up to Sacramento for more money. James hated the fact that he was going to lose him because he loved him. So if he had an opportunity to keep him, Malik Monk would still be in Los Angeles. So I don't think that's a conversation.
Yo, Chad, I want y'all to answer that question too, man. Who you got, Reeves or Monk? Let's get to the bottom of that.
Yep.
Speaking against the bottom of things, chill. Let's not beat around the bush here. I asked you yesterday to give me 3 lists, short lists. It's only been 1 week. I want to know, chill, about what 3 teams were you most impressed with on this first week of basketball?
Well, we can't start with like the champs because I kind of expected them to be that, right? The Boston Celtics, they took the most threes last year. They made the most threes last year. They had the best 3-point percentage last year. That's who they are. So I'm not going to say the Boston Celtics. I'm not going to say the Dallas Mavericks because they was in the NBA Finals last year. They got Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson has always been a great standstill shooter. Like, he's always been a great shooter, whether it's off the ball, whether it's standing still or coming off screens. He's always been that. So I'm talking about teams that people aren't really paying much attention to, that they just look good. And one of those teams that I really dig, Ox, is the Orlando Magic. From a defense, they might have the best defense in the league. Before this season's over, they might have the best defense in the league. I love the fact that how they guard the long ball line more than anything. And the way that they do that is by getting in passing lanes. When you make passes difficult, a lot of people think one-on-one defense is just standing in front of a guy. No, when you make it difficult to advance the ball, you disrupt the offense. Franz Wagner does a great job in getting in passing lanes. At 6'10", he makes it difficult for you to see guys. And then you got a disruptor in Jalen Suggs. That's an on-ball defender. When I think about Jonathan Isaac, the value that he brings at the limited amount of time that he plays, I think this Orlando Magic team is going to be serious. I mean, they shut the door. They completely shut the door on that Miami Heat team when they played them. And then to watch them play defense and turn that defense into offense, I love it. I love everything that they're doing in Orlando. You know how I feel about Banchero. I think Banchero could play his way into the top 15 this year. So Orlando, I got them as a top 5 seed. They're gonna be trouble. They're gonna be a lot of trouble this year. The second team that I was thinking about, and Ox, you kind of scoffed at me earlier in the summer, but I think Cleveland the top 3 seed in the East. I do. I think they're going to be a top 5 defense, maybe even a top 3 defense. I think they're third right now. I know we're only in the second game of the season. I think they're third in the league in defense right now. Donovan Mitchell didn't shoot it great last night against Toronto, but the guy that I am the most impressed with is Evan Mobley. You know how I feel about Evan Mobley. I think he's going to be the defensive player of the year. I think he's a lot smarter. He looks a lot more comfortable in that offense. And now that he looks a lot more comfortable in that offense, it makes them even more viable, way more viable. That offense can flow a little bit more. He looks like he can flow more in the offense on the wing, which I'm really liking from him. I'd like to see them rebound a little bit more. But, I mean, again, the season just started. I think they're going to be a top 3 team, a top 5 defense, maybe even top 3. And the team that a lot of people think that I hate, and I may have to walk this back. I'm not saying that I'm doing it right now because we just got started, but I like what I'm seeing from the Dubs. It might be fool's gold. It might be, considering, you know, I think Portland's going to be the worst team in the NBA, and they just beat them by 35. And then they just beat Utah, who I think is going to be the
Yeah.
second worst team in the Western Conference. So it might be fool's gold. But Ox, with that being said, Ox, be clear that good teams beat the teams you're supposed to beat. When you're playing against bad teams, you're supposed to handle them. You're not supposed to screw around with bad teams. And I accept the fact that the Warriors, they play a lot of small ball, but I can't argue that they beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. That Trailblazer team, that's a bad team. And they handled them. 100% they handled them. I like the way the ball moves with this crew. Not only do I like the way the ball moves with this crew, I appreciate how they play defense. I do. Right. I especially considering that they're a small ball team, their perimeter defense has gotten better throughout the course of these two games. I like how they fly around. I do appreciate that. I mean, Steve Kerr had mentioned this is the deepest team that he's had. Well, I mean,
why is he lying?
Yeah,
chill. I'm saying, like, you're supposed to hype your team up.
100%.
You're supposed to be supportive of your team. You're supposed to say all the good things you can, but don't lie.
Come on, man. Especially when we know that that's not true. Don't just say that when we know for a fact this team right here is not deeper than the 15-16 team you had that went to the NBA Finals that won 73 games when you had Iguodala and Vaselli and Looney and Livingston and Bogut. No, this team is not deeper than that team. No, it is not. That's just not true, Coach. And you know that that's not true. But I appreciate, how you hyping your team up because I'm on record. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. I think that if they make the playoffs, they're a play-in team. But I don't think they're making the playoffs. So, but I am impressed with. I am impressed with what they've done so far. You're a good team beats bad teams. You're supposed to handle bad teams, and I am impressed with that with them.
Yeah, I don't like the idea that we can't give a team credit for beating the inferior team like that. So I can't get any credit for doing what I'm supposed to do. Okay, no big deal. But
Fox, I'm not gonna tell my girl that she's the best looking girl that I ever seen, and it's okay for me to tell my girl she fine as hell, but to say you the finest chick I ever seen in my life, don't do that.
I mean, well, there's a time and place to say that. You know what I'm saying? You can get that one off, but I get what you're saying. Like, come on.
Can I do that in front of everybody? Yo, this is the most beautiful chick I ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah.
I might say that to her, when we behind closed doors and we sitting down. Yo, I think you're beautiful. But in front of my whole family, yo, this is the most beautiful girl I ever seen in my whole. Yo, dude, man, you come on, man.
Oh man, yeah. I just, let's dive into the Warriors a little bit more because me and Ron was on playback last night. We were talking about their starting lineup, and I just don't know how long can we start. I mean, after sleeping on it, I'm like, it's not that bad, but I don't really like Steph, Drew, JK, Draymond, and Trace Jackson.
Small.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
They are small.
Well, I mean, with that being said, they might be I guess I wouldn't even consider them small just because Drew and JK are Drew 6'7", JK 6'9".
Okay, so Wiggins is 6'8". Okay.
Okay.
Wiggins is 6'8". JK is what, 6'8"?
Yeah, 6'8", 6'9", something like that.
So you got and Pods is a rotation guy. He's 6'4". Curry 6, and Buddy Hield is 6. Buddy Hield didn't even start. But a lot of their lineups
doesn't start either.
Yeah, a lot of their lineups. So like last night when I was peeking in on them against Utah, so they go with Curry, Pods, Wiggs, JK, Draymond, and I'm like, yeah, how long do you think that lineup's gonna last? Because you could go with the small ball lineup. I have no issue with you going with the small ball lineup, but I think that the game is so much different today than what it was just 5 years ago. Because you got bigger guys being able to step out and shoot more. Not only bigger guys being able to step out and shoot more, we recognize that the game has moved away from the basket more, which means that those bigger guys, they got to be able to guard on the perimeter more. So you got them 6'9" and 6'10" guys being able to guard on the perimeter more. Now, on top of that, those guys play closer to the basket. Now you in trouble when you go small.
Yeah. And you like starting Draymond and Trace Jackson Davis together? And I just don't. I just got an issue with. You know what? while I'm thinking about it, I'm not really even sure. You know, and I don't have. I don't mind a minute. I can't put my finger on what the problem is with this lineup. But it's just something about this lineup that it's not that I don't like it. I hate it. Like I hate it.
Right.
Steph, Drew, J.K., Draymond, and Trace Jackson Davis. I just don't like it. I think Buddy or B-Pod needs to be in that lineup.
It sounds to me like the problem with this lineup, in your estimation, I think that the culprit here is it's not necessarily, it's not just the size, but the culprit here is Draymond. And that's largely due to considering what Golden State does, right? Golden State, one of the best long ball shooting teams in the league. Draymond is one of the best facilitators in the game, and I'll never take that away from him ever. Draymond's one of the better facilitators, better distributors. He's always been that. But when you go with that lineup, right? When you go with that lineup, what you're doing is you're making Draymond the primary ball handler. You're making him the primary distributor. Even though Curry has now kind of segueing into that role where, Curry is becoming more of a traditional point guard. Well, if Curry is doing that, what that means is that now what's Draymond's role now on offense? Because he's not going to score. If Curry is doing what Draymond does, what exactly is Draymond out here for? Because he's not going to score. Curry is now doing what Draymond was doing, getting downhill, getting guys involved, making plays. So if that's the case, so is Draymond going to be your defender? Is Draymond going to be your glass cleanup? Well, then we got to get bigger. We got to get a bigger lineup because I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if Draymond's my issue. It might be J.K., Trace Jackson Davis. Yeah, I'm not sure, but hey, they're 2-0, so they're doing something right. I mean, and we can say what we want to say about the Blazers, but they went down to the wire with the Pelicans last night. So,
damn DeAndre Ayton, man, he this is what I'm talking about with him, Ox. This is what I mean, yo. When I talk about him being the kind of player that he is, not just the kind of player that he is, how you feel about the prime example, Ox? How you feel about Tobias Harris? That's how I feel about DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how I feel about him. I think he could be a 20 and 10 guy on a Tuesday. I think he can easily be that. But on the other hand, there's times when I feel like, this dude ain't gonna be in the league in 3 years. That's how I feel about him.
Yeah, something about him. He just doesn't have it in him. Like when you said I'll start a fight with him, and I don't think he'll fight you, chill. I don't think like if a teammate tried to get under his skin to try to, ruffle his feathers for whatever reason, I just don't think he has the temperament for that.
And not starting to fight with him because you a punk. And no, I'm starting to fight with him because we need you to be tougher, because we're going to be a lot better throughout the course of the season if you're tougher, because that resonates throughout the rest of the crew. If our big man is soft, you know what that means? We soft. If our big man doesn't go hard, that means that's the rest of the crew. I can't worry about. I'm worried about getting beat to the basket because you're not going to do anything, which he will block shots, but he doesn't create that intimidation factor when it comes to the Blazers. He's one of them dudes that he's there. And I think that's the biggest issue with him. He's just there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what's what's going on with Clint. Or not. I'm sorry. So they're talking about Clint Capella in the chat. So I said Clint.
That's kind of who he looks like. That's why, because that's kind of who he reminds you of, like a better version of Clint Capella.
I don't know, chill. Back 2017, 18, 19. I'll take that Clint Capella over this.
And that's the thing. I think DeAndre Ayton is better than that from a talent standpoint. Like, you better than that. Yeah. But that's kind of who you remind me of.
That goes back to what we talked about on Thursday. Mm-hmm. On Thursday, we were talking about that, where it's like, I don't care whose skill set is higher. I need to know who's going to produce when we get on this court. Who's going to go clean the glass? Who's going to protect the rim? You know what I mean? Who's going to do all those things? Who's going to control the paint for me? I don't care. DeAndre Ayton has an amazing skill set. We've seen it. We've seen signs of it. We've seen him in workouts. We've seen all types of things from DeAndre Ayton. Yep. But if you don't got the heart to produce on that basketball court, you give me Clint Capella 10 times out of 10.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't. 100%. It doesn't matter. with him.
Right.
Give me a break, yo.
So we just did chill. That was your 3 teams you're impressed with. Now let's talk about the 3 players that you're impressed with so far in the first week of the NBA season.
Now, some people will bring up guys like Anthony Davis. You know, I think Anthony Davis, he's the first guy since Kobe to have 30 points in 2 back-to-back games before when the season starts. But you know, I've seen 30 and 15 from Anthony Davis throughout the course of the season. I've seen that from him. I've seen him go on 5, 7, 8, 9 game stretches where he's 30 and 15, and then it'll go this way. The question is can he sustain? I ain't even asking him to sustain something like this because I don't think that's realistic for him to do that. What I'm asking is can he give me? I mean, he was 25 and almost 13 last year. Can I get that? Can I get 26? Can I get 27 and 12 on a Tuesday from him? Can I get that on a regular basis? This 35 and 12, that's an aberration. That's not something that he's going to be able to do throughout the course of the year, because if he can do that throughout the course of the year, I think that we wrap the league MVP up, and I think that we just hand it over to him. If he could do that throughout the course of the year, I don't know if he can do that throughout the course of the year. I think I'm gonna get some 22. I'm gonna get some 22 in 9 games. I'm gonna get some 18 and 7 games. I'm gonna get that. Now, the guy that I am impressed with is Alperen Sengun. I am impressed with Alperen Sengun. And the reason why I'm impressed with Alperen Sengun is because of how physical he is. I didn't realize that he was that physical as a player, right? I thought that Alperen Sengun was more of a finesse big. And the more I watch him, he's a bruiser. And I like that about him, Ox. He is a bruiser. He will bring, in the words of my man Big Ox, he will bring the ruckus. 100%. He will bring the fight to you. He's not one of those dudes that's going to wait for you to push him around. He's not one of those dudes that gets rebounds that only come to him. No, he's going to stick his nose in there. He leads the league in rebounding. He's averaging almost 17 rebounds a game. And I know it's only 2 games, but I think that this is an indication for what kind of player he wants to be, right? And if I look at this Houston team, they look like they run a lot of their stuff, a lot of their action runs through him, and he brings a lot of force and a lot of grit to his opponent. I like that about him.
Right. Before we go to number 2, Chill, I wanted to say this about Sengun. I wanted to bring this up the other day, maybe Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to say it, but last year I watched Jalen Brunson and was on board with saying Jalen Brunson is better than De'Aaron Fox last year.
At that
point, I was saying Jalen Brunson's playing better basketball than De'Aaron Fox, and I'm okay with admitting that. I'm gonna watch Sengun this year.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay close attention to Sengun because I can be swayed. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this hoop thing, I love good basketball over any player or any team. I can be swayed. I'm gonna have to watch Sengun and DeMontis, please.
I think a lot of these people, what they get wrapped up in is they get wrapped up in us being set in our ways. I already said to you earlier this week, Ox, I got to watch more Toronto. I got to watch more Toronto because people keep talking to me, yo, Scotty Bonds this, Scotty Bonds that, Scotty Bonds. I'm like, all right, I got to pay more attention to Toronto because I got to pay more attention to Scotty Bonds. What is the deal with Scotty Bonds? Why do I need to watch him more? And I'm going to do that more. Hey, listen, with new information brings the change of opinion. I can't just be stuck on, yo, Scotty Bonds is whack or Scotty Bonds plays on a bad team. Well, wait a minute. I got to watch Scotty Bonds and recognize what exactly he's doing for people to keep saying to me, Scotty Bonds is good. That's how I found out about Herb Jones.
Right.
That's exactly how I found out about Herb Jones.
Right. Okay. So your number 1 player that you're impressed with so far is Alp Sengun. Who you got as number 2?
Chet. As much as I dig Evan Mobley, and I don't think him and Evan Mobley are that far apart, but as much as I dig Evan Mobley, I really dig what Chet brings to this Oklahoma City team. To be honest with you, and Ox, you kind of scoffed at me last year when I told you that he was the difference in what they were doing. As good as, and I didn't want to make that sound like, you know, SGA not necessarily didn't matter, or he wasn't the best player on the team. There's a guy who can make the difference in what you're trying to do. A prime example is your man, Scotty. As good as Jordan is, as good as all of those guys are, Scotty unlocked something with the Bulls that you guys didn't have. Y'all don't got a 6'9" distributor, playmaker, guy that gets downhill, who's straight who's a dog on defense. Y'all don't have nobody like that. So to get somebody like that on your crew, that unlocks everything else that we do. Nobody else in the league has somebody like Chet, a rim protector, a defender who can knock down the mid-range, who can get to the rim, who can hold his own in the paint like him. You don't have nobody like that. Especially considering what Oklahoma City is doing. Oklahoma City is trying to do. I see teams, right? I see teams that are really good and they have really good players, but to have a guy who can stretch the defense like Chet does, not just stretch the defense like Chet does, but can rim protect on a consistent basis like Chet, rebound like Chet does, get downhill, be able to navigate through screens, be able to set screens, because that's really important to the Oklahoma City offense, to be able to do that stuff and still be effective with all of that stuff. The only guy that I'm thinking about who does some resemblance to that, that's Porzingis. I mean, and they won the NBA championship with him. They won the NBA championship with him. Now, I hear a lot of people talking to me about Oklahoma City can win the NBA championship and go to the NBA championship. Ox, I just want to put a little tidbit on your mind real quick, because I don't want to overstate Chet. I think Chet is fantastic, and he's one of the few guys in the league, especially young guys, that impress me. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the youngest team in the league. I just want to put that out there, Ox. They're the youngest team they're the youngest team in the league. With them being the youngest team in the league, the last team to win the NBA championship as the youngest team in the league, that was the 76 Blazers. That was 77 Blazers. That was almost 50 years ago. So it's hard to win in this league with young guys, and you ain't got, if you don't have legit vets, it's hard to do.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that when we're like on the panel. Mm-hmm. And we talk about teams, older teams, experienced teams. In the chat, they do not like that. Yep. They're like, "Oh, that's dumb." You're basically saying that if older teams beat younger teams, and then they go to what about in February when this team beat that team? It's just like that's not what we're talking about.
No.
First of all, I don't believe that an older team necessarily always beats a younger team, but I do believe that experience trumps these, youth in certain things. You know what I'm saying? I think that I believe that if we get down to the wire and it's the fourth quarter and things going, it's getting high pace.
Sure.
Your heart's going crazy. Experience, it's muscle memory. I know what to do. I've been here before. You know what I mean? And young guys have to figure it out on the fly. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, like it only takes a 3-minute run from the 8-minute mark to the 5-minute mark in a hectic fourth quarter for us to go down 2 to up 3, because y'all panicked and I knew where my players were gonna. I used to see Draymond and Clay do it all the time, all the time. We don't even got to talk about stuff. Draymond and Clay, they had a connection where Draymond gets. I know where Clay is. Boom. But everybody else is, they're chickens with their heads cut off. But it's experience trumps youth in most things.
Jordan said it about Larry Bird. He said that when he was coming up, he said no matter what, and this was Jordan in 1982 said this, no matter what we did, they always knew we were going to fold and they were going to come back and beat us. He knew. He said Bird, McHale, and Parrish, we could start the game out fantastic, but they knew eventually they're going to let us back in the game. And then once they let us back in the game, in the words of my man Big Ox, those dollar signs for eyes, you'll see those, and the next thing you know, got them dudes fold up like a tent. That stuff matters. That doesn't take away from how awesome of a player SGA is. That doesn't take away from how awesome of a player Chet is going to be, or how good Jalen Williams is going to be. But when you aren't not necessarily prepared, but when you don't have the experience being in a situation like that, you don't really know what to do. Not yet. Especially when you're running up on teams that do know. And to your point, Draymond and Klay Thompson, they look at young teams like that at that point when they were ruling the NBA. They look at young teams like that and go, they're gonna let us back in. Don't worry, just keep playing. They're gonna let us back in. And as good as Chet is, I still think that Oklahoma City, I think they're a year away. I don't think they're there yet. I think they're close. I do. Yeah. I think they're damn close. I just don't think they're there yet.
Oh yeah, they're definitely getting there. And with that being said, things could go in their favor this year. I'm not writing them off. I'm just saying that experience trumps youth in most things. That's all. 100%. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. 100%. And if proper matchups, they get blessed with good health. They could pull it off this year.
Mhm.
I'm not taking that off the table at all.
We'll see.
Okay, so we got as far as most impressive players so far in the first week of the the first week of the NBA season.
Mhm.
We got so far Sengun
Mhm.
and Chet.
Yep.
Who's number 3?
It shouldn't. It should be other people, and it shouldn't be a surprise that he's playing like this, considering who he's playing with. But I mean, Buddy Hield has been fantastic, Ox.
Buddy Hield.
Man,
Okay.
Buddy Hield has been fantastic with this Golden State team. He looks more confident. Not only does he look more confident, he looks stronger. His shot looks better. He's getting different looks. He's actually taking contested threes and knocking them down. Not only is he taking contested threes, he's putting the ball on the floor a little bit more. Now, he's not getting to the rim, and there is more one-dribble pull-ups with him. When you're playing with a bunch of guys who spread the floor out like that, you get different looks. The first guy that I thought about KD when he first got on the Golden State Warriors. For the record, KD was still getting the same shots that he was getting in Oklahoma City. He was getting the same shots. Only difference is that I don't got 2 and 3 guys hanging on me. I only got one guy hanging on me. So if I only got one guy hanging on me, it's going to be a lot less difficult for me to score because I can handle you. 3 of you guys, now I got to do something different. 2 of you guys, I got to do something different. With Buddy Hield, he's getting the same shots that he was getting in Philadelphia when he was running with Joel Embiid. The difference is I got Steph Curry right there, right? I got different shooters that I play with now where the offense opens up even more. I think he's leading the Golden State Warriors in scoring. He's shooting over 40% on the long ball. He looks a lot more confident with this Golden State Warrior team. I like it, Ox. I do. I like what I see from Buddy Hield, and I like what I'm seeing from this Golden State Warrior team early.
Right.
And what I'm seeing early, I like it.
Right. Let's just to make sure that chat, you guys understand what's going on here. These aren't the list of players that Chill expects to win the MVP.
Buddy Hield winning the league MVP this year. Holy shit.
This is not the list of players that Chill thinks these are the 3 best players in the league. No. Chill's not saying these guys are going to win finals MVPs. No. He's saying that in the first week of the NBA season. This has nothing to do with October. This has nothing to do with December, January, February, March, or April. We're talking about the first week of the NBA season. Mm-hmm. Who impressed Chill the most? What teams impressed, what players impressed, and then we got another category here in a second. So, guys, relax for a second, please.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when I see Jason Tatum get 30. I'm not surprised with that, right? I'm not surprised when I'm not impressed when I see Luka go 29, 11, and 6. I'm not impressed with that because that's him. That's who he is. So that's not to say that Buddy Hield is better. I'm not saying that Buddy Hield is better than Luka. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is when I watch these other guys, there's really not that much that they can do to impress me more than they already have because it's them. And we're going to get to guys. We'll get to those other guys in a little bit.
Right. Let's do that. Before we get, I know we got some people in the lobby. I see y'all down there. We are definitely going to get to that, get to y'all. But we got one more category and some super chats. I'm going to knock these super chats out first because super chats always come first here on Chill with Chill. Let's see. We got Head Tap Official. Warriors versus Celtics finals rematch. Warriors in 5.
And Warriors in 500 years when we ain't around no more. That's where the Warriors is going to be at because the Boston Celtics mopped them even if they were to. Let's just so we're in an alternate universe and the Warriors end up in the NBA championship against the Boston Celtics. The Celtics smoked them. They don't beat them. They smoked them. They destroyed them. They don't have nearly enough for the Boston Celtics. You looking at Steph Curry, which I am too. I think Steph Curry's still the best shooter in the game. But they don't have nearly enough firepower to handle the Boston Celtics. They're too small. Defensively, they aren't good enough. The Warriors would get destroyed. It's the same Warriors team that lost last year to this same Celtic team by 50. They put 50 on them. So let's chill out on that, my man.
Well, chill. Let me ask you. You said because earlier you said that you don't think they're going to make the playoffs. If they do, it'll be by way of the play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
what is the ceiling for? I'm talking about the absolute ceiling. What's the best the Warriors can do? What's the best?
They're a first round exit. That's the best. That's the ceiling for them. They're a first round exit. I think that's the if they did more than that, I would be flawed. If they were better than a first round exit, I'd be flawed.
Okay.
Yep.
The Trib One says AD is the only other Laker besides Jerry West and Elgin Baylor to have 35 plus first 2 games. AD getting that DPOY at least. Lakers in 6.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard, y'all. I seen what Evan Mobley been doing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And there's a difference between, and we talked about this with the league MVP. There's a difference between the best player in the league and the league MVP. Sometimes the best defensive player in the game wins Defensive Player of the Year. Sometimes the best player in the game wins the league MVP, which is why it's tied to that, right? So is Anthony Davis the best defensive player in the game? I'm having a difficult time thinking that it's somebody else. And y'all know how I feel about Evan Mobley, and Bam is right there along with Rudy Gobert. But how much is Anthony Davis going to affect that Laker team defensively? They're going to have to be they're going to have to be in the top 5 in the league in defense for this to even be a conversation. The Cavs are going to be a top 3 defense. They're going to be a top 3 defense.
The thing with AD is for these first 2 games, it's not really his defense I've been impressed with. He's not AD doesn't look like the defensive player of the year right now. He looks like the MVP.
He does look like the league MVP.
You know what I mean?
Yes, he does.
That's just right now, obviously. Like I stated a couple moments ago, this is only the first week of the NBA. I don't want to get ahead of myself, right. But AD's looking more like the MVP than the DPOY right now.
Yeah, he does. They got James got more confidence in him. Or maybe it's not that James has more confidence in him. Davis has more confidence in himself, which exudes through the rest of the crew, and they're using him different. Now, is that going to go on through the rest of the season? I don't know. I think that him taking advantage of smaller dudes like when they played against Phoenix, he always been a rim runner. He's always been a rim runner, and he's always been able to get smaller guys on his back. James has been adamant and throwing the ball ahead to him when Davis runs to the rim and he's got a small dude on him. That's always been going on. It just looked like he's doing it a little bit more. It just looked like he's doing it a little bit more now.
Okay. Head Tap Official came with another super chat, said, no team is beating Golden State in 7 games. Stop it, chill. Curry and Dre make Tatum turn Bish.
Yep. Just like last year, no team was beating the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. It only took 1 game. Actually, Sacramento bounced them. And then the year before that, the Lakers bounced them in 6 games. So, I mean, I understand that you're a Golden State Warriors fan. And, some fans could be irrational. 100% they could be irrational. And that's the Golden State Warrior fan base. They're very similar. They're not as delusional as the Cowboy fan base. I'm not going to say that. No, they're not nearly as delusional as the Cowboy fan base. But in terms of their fan base, they could be a bit ridiculous sometimes. They can be. And that's largely due to Steph Curry.
Well, I mean, Steve Kerr's out here trying to convince people that this is the deepest team he's ever had. So if they don't if this team doesn't even go 500, people are going to be looking at Steve Kerr like, so you just can't coach because this is supposed to be the best team you ever had. So
the bomb squad
not the best. I'm sorry, the deepest bench. He did say the deepest bench.
You got a bomb squad over there, coach. What are you doing?
That's just crazy.
Come on, man. You got the deepest team. You know what that tells me, coach? That means that you don't lose a lot with the second guy and with the third guy. Whenever you got 5 guys out there and you replace this guy with this guy, you don't lose a lot. That's what you're telling us, which now goes back to the logic. Well, coach, are you not coaching? Are you coaching? Which one is it? What's the deal, coach? That doesn't help at all. It doesn't.
Before we do move on, I want to get this last list out the way, Chill. I asked you for your 3 biggest disappointments so far in the first week of the 2024-25 NBA season. Let's get those 3.
I shouldn't be disappointed in these guys because I'm out on them anyway, but I am. And that's Philly. I mean, I expected, even though Joel Embiid is not going to be available for a lot, and Paul George has been in and out of the lineup, even when he was playing with the Clippers, I shouldn't be disappointed, but the curtain just went up, Ox. I just said this to you a couple of days ago. The curtain just went up. It's not like, the show, we walked in on the show and it already started 15 minutes ago. You walk in on the show and it just started, and the people who's supposed to be here aren't even here. And the show just started. And not only has the show just started, the show has already been going on, and they still not here. Still not here. So now I'm relegated to Andre Drummond and Kelly Oubre. That's who I'm relegated to, right? I'm watching Maxey get downhill. Maxey's shot creation has gotten a lot better, but Toronto handled them last night. Toronto 100% handled them last night, and he did it off the strength of their defense. Like Scotty Bonds, like I said, I'm watching more of Scotty Bonds, and I recognize how switchable he is on the perimeter. Not just how switchable he is on the perimeter, but how much better he is in the post. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to him in the post, and I'm recognizing that, this dude can score in the post. I'm watching this Philly team, and I'm thinking to myself, man, you wonder why I'm out on them. You wonder why I'm out on this Philly team, and yesterday was an example of why I'm out on this team. Availability. They can't score. Not only can they not score, they don't defend at a high level. And then their best player is in and out of the lineup. I'm good. I'm straight on Philly. I'm ridiculously disappointed in them. My second guy is Jamal Murray. I thought that coming into this season, he would be sharper. He played in the Olympics. He wasn't really good in the Olympics. He had some injuries at the end of last season. Then he played in the Olympics, and you had 2 months off. Not 2 months. I take that back. Not off, but 2 months before the season started. You had some time to heal up. You could still get back to work, but you had some time to heal up. And he just doesn't look sharp. He just doesn't look sharp at all, Ox. He looks slow. He looks unathletic. He doesn't really have a lot of lift in his shot. He just doesn't look like the Jamal Murray. He doesn't look like the Jamal Murray that I saw when he won the NBA championship. He doesn't look like the Jamal Murray of old. He actually looks like old Jamal Murray. It's almost like he's getting old right in front of me. And I'm disappointed in that, because in order for Denver to be what I think they can be as a top 5 seed in the West, he's got to play better. He has to. 100% he's got to play better. And the most disappointing, the third one, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I watched the Bulls put 130 on them last night, man. They gave up 71 points in the second half. Not only did they give up 71 points in the second half, that perimeter defense is garbage. They get spread out. They don't close out. Their reads are bad. They can't recover. Damian Lillard's still doing the same things that Damian Lillard did. He's still doing the same things that he did in the past. And the reason why it's not disappointing in the aspect of, man, this is too bad. It's disappointing because I already knew who Milwaukee was anyway. Rox, it's disappointing to me because I'm going to get another wasted MVP season from Giannis. He's going to average 30 and 10 and 6 assists, and it's going to be for nothing. And you know why? Because this team can't defend on the perimeter. That's why. For that reason right there.
Yeah.
He went almost 40 and 10 last night. I'm watching him. He went almost 40 and 10 last night. He's at the rim. He's active. He's getting downhill. That mid-range actually looked respectable last night. Not only did the mid-range look respectable, him in transition, I don't think that there's 3 transition players in the game better than him. I think he probably is the best transition player in the game, if you ask me personally. But with that being said, they got so spread out by a Bulls team. It wasn't like the Bulls lit it up. I mean, they shot, I think they shot 44% on the 3-ball last night. It wasn't like they lit it up, but I thought that Milwaukee's perimeter defense was just so bad. And I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. That's going to be the difference.
Well, we'll see, man. Once again, I just want to remind the chat, if you're just here, these lists we're making we only have the first week of basketball to go off of. So that's what we're doing. We're ranking the first week. It was the most impressive team first, most impressive player, and then 3 biggest disappointments. But we only have 1 or 2 games to go off of. So we understand that this may be an overreaction or an underreaction, but this is all we got to go off of is 1 or 2 games. So y'all just enjoy it. You guys have if you disagree or agree with the take, make sure you put your comments in the comment section. Chill. before we get to the lobby, and that's where we're headed. We're headed straight to the lobby. I got to get these guys up here. I want to hear what they all got to say. Are you at all? And I know I know it was only one game, but what happened with the guy Tyrese Halliburton last night?
Oh my God! I mean, I could go off of. I mean, you have nights. I watched Tim Hardaway when he was playing with the Warriors. I watched him go 0 for 11 in a game. I mean, that happens, but you can still do other things to be effective. And Tyrese Halliburton was completely and utterly ineffective last night. He didn't do anything productive. There was nothing that and not just from a scoring aspect. It almost dictated everything that he did. And I understand that as a lead guard, your job. This is why I say this more than anything, right? And I understand as a lead guard, especially in today's game, that you have to be able to score. But Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best passers in the game, and I've always been of the belief as a guy who could score myself when I was playing as a younger man. I just need to see the ball go in. However the ball goes in, I just need to see the ball go in. Whether it's at the free throw line, whether it's a layup, whether it's a dunk, just need to see the ball go in. Once the ball goes in, then we could get something going. I'm not just going to stick to standing behind the long ball line. I'm not just going to stick to shooting shots that I know I'm not going to make because I don't have it going. Tyrese Halliburton last night looked like his shots kind of dictated the way he was playing. Again, Ox, I know that it's important as a lead guard that you have to be able to score in today's game. You can't just be a primary distributor. But him last night, he could have gotten more involved in the game as a distributor, getting downhill, because Brunson can't stay in front of him. Not only could Brunson not stay in front of him, when they actually had switches with Brunson on him, with Bridges on him, and he was able to get downhill, he just wasn't making the right reads. Not only was he not making the right reads, he wasn't shooting the ball at the rim like he normally does. He just was completely and utterly ineffective. He threw a monkey wrench in everything that Indiana team was trying to do. They didn't play as fast, and I think that the Knicks defense had a lot to do with that. I'm not just going to say that Tyrese Halliburton was bad just from his own volition. No. That New York Knicks defense had a lot to do with it. I mean, I thought they were great in the passing lanes. I thought they did a great job on the glass, particularly Cat. I thought they did a great job at holding them to one shot. But I think that Tyrese Halliburton could have been a lot more effective if he had gone to the rim a little bit more and not let his jump shot dictate his offense, not dictate his game last night. And he did that, which would explain why he was as bad as he was.
Yeah, man. Rick Carlisle, at some point, he got to see that and just say, all right, TJ, it's your day today. TJ, you go ahead. You got it. But
Ox, is that a thing, though, Ox? I mean, I as a coach, I know on every level, not only do you go with the hot hand, but there's times when, hey, chill, come sit over here, and I just want you to watch the game for a little while to see what's going on. Is that really a thing where coaches at that level have the gall to do that? Yo, come over here, watch the game, and let this guy get going, and then you could get back in the game, as opposed to, all right, I gotta play him, even though he sucked tonight.
No, I think at that level it's too political. I don't think they do that. I guess at that level there's certain things that are more important than winning basketball games. Like the ego of a grown ass man. Like I got to worry about I got to worry about the fragile ego of these kids. I can't even, what I'm saying? I can't even coach basketball. So no, that's unrealistic. That's very unrealistic. That the world will end if I, if I sit him down and let him watch TJ McConnell play better basketball. But
you're gonna screw him up, Ox. If you tell Tyrese Halliburton, come sit his ass over here and park your ass for a little while and let this dude and just watch the game. Nope. You're gonna screw him up, Ox, if you do that.
Because people think that'll ruin his whole life, because he's been a star all his life. He wouldn't know how to react from sitting on the bench for a game. Man, I don't know. Whatever. But we have made it to the segment where we start bringing up the guys from the lobby. The first person I have in the lobby is my man Marcus from the 626.
What up?
What's up, yo? What up? Yeah, I'm glad y'all talked about Tyrese Halliburton. In my opinion, he's definitely been the biggest disappointment just so far in this week, like as just like an individual player.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give Tyrese. I mean, not Tyrese Maxey some grace, man. He shouldn't even be in this position for him having to be the number one option. PG should have at least played. Joel Embiid should have played. And he's struggling. He's really, really struggling to find his groove. Teams that I'm impressed with this week are the Lakers. Who else? I'm impressed with the Wolves' offense in the second game. It looked more spaced out to me, at least from what I watched. Well, I watched the whole game. It looked more spaced out. In the first game it was so congested. I would have said that the OKC Thunder was my third, but the Nuggets aren't. I think they would have played a better team. I would have been impressed, but the Nuggets aren't like. I don't think the Nuggets are going to be good this year. Like I really don't. They can't shoot. They can't shoot. They have no shooters.
Where did it go? Where did it go? Like
no shooters, bro.
It wasn't like they couldn't shoot. They could shoot a year ago. They could shoot 2 years ago. They were one of the best jump shooting teams in the league. MPJ has a flamer. Jamal Murray, one of the best tough shot makers in the game. Joker could knock down the long ball. These guys could shoot. Yeah, 100%. So where did it go? KCP, what happened?
I got you. With KCP leaving and Christian Brown going into that starting lineup, I watched the game with Christian Brown. Sometimes, when he was wide open, he wouldn't take the shot. Even off the bench, Julian Strawther, he wouldn't take the shot. Like Julian.
Does that mean they can't shoot, or does that mean they can't shoot, or these guys are just segueing into these roles? Because Christian Brown, I believe he can shoot the three. I 100% believe he can shoot the three. I just think that he's moving into this. Yes, he can. You can't sell me that. Yes, he can. You've seen him knock down threes. Yes, he can. So he can knock down threes. And the reason why he's not doing it, because he's segueing into this role. See, we're talking about a guy who went from being a rotation player to now a starter. So as a rotation player, I get, not only do I get different shots, I get different shots in different times of the game. Now I gotta start thinking like a starter. I gotta start thinking when to shoot the basketball, how to shoot the ball, when I'm gonna get it from who, where am I gonna get the basketball? It's not that he can't shoot the ball, because he 100% can shoot it. He's just got to develop that mentality, because again, we're talking about a guy in year 3. We're talking about a guy in year 3 who's just now becoming a starter. I 100% believe that he can get into.
Do you think he's a threat? Would you leave him open?
Right now, yes.
You would leave him open, right?
Right now, yes. Because he's not really sure what he's doing.
He can't. I'm telling you. Russell Westbrook. Of course.
Would I leave Russell Westbrook open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peyton Watson.
I mean, Peyton Watson isn't much of a shooter.
Yeah, at all. See, and those players are always like on the floor. At least from the
no,
first game.
They're not. Peyton Watson.
At least from on the first game. From the first game.
Yeah. Okay. So right.
So first game.
Right.
It's the first game.
Right.
They only played one game.
Game one. That's it. It's just game one.
Another player I've been impressed with, Jalen Green's defense. He's been. I've seen him at times. He's been bodying players up. I didn't see that last year. I didn't know he could do that, but he has been in the gym getting stronger. I'm proud of that. Another team.
That's one thing that's going to keep him on the floor too. It's not just going to be him being a bucket getter. That's going to keep him on the floor. That's why he's gotten better as a defender.
Yeah, he hasn't been efficient. He hasn't been efficient. He's been like Jalen Green, but his defense I think is improved since last year.
That's what's going to keep him on the floor, 100%.
Sure. All right, Marcus, we got to keep it moving. Appreciate
you,
fam. Yeah. Always.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Good taste. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get this going. Guys, I do want to make sure to let you know we are going to be on a very strict 4-minute per person situation right now, guys. So go ahead and get your takes off. Let's not waste any more time. Adrian, what's going on, fam?
Hey, what's up? What's up, Chill? What's up, Box? Y'all see my profile, right? Y'all see the profile. I'm worried. This ain't gonna happen.
What do you mean you're worried? Why are you worried about it?
Cooper
because
Flag? You think the Bulls are going to be better? You think the Bulls are going to be better than what they are?
I'm worried they're gonna fumble this, Chill. They're gonna keep trying to stay competitive. I'm not liking this, bro, at all, man.
Well, what do you?
No,
do
maybe
you,
it's just the Bucks. Maybe it's just the Bucks.
Do you expect your Bulls to just not play? I mean, they're gonna compete. They're not just gonna show up.
Cool. I expect the players to compete and the coaches to coach.
Yeah.
Just don't make sure you don't make the play-in. That's all I want them to do.
So you're asking them to tank? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Right. And I wasn't that kind of guy. I was kind of like looking into these kind of things, be like, okay, this guy, he might be good, he might not be good. I watched some film on Cooper Flag. I'm moved. I don't get moved by prospects like this very often, Chill. And now I'm seeing us
be moved, Adrian. 100%.
And now I'm just saying, listen, just lose every game. Go 0-20. We just won, so we can't.
Well, what difference does that make if you go 0-20? We saw the Pistons lose 28 straight games last year. They had the fifth pick in the draft, so that doesn't matter.
I don't want there to be. I think if you're in the bottom 6, I think that's how it works with the modern lottery. If you're in the bottom 6, it guarantees you the maximum odds. I think that's what.
Even if you did have the maximum odds, that don't mean you're gonna get the first pick. Again, the Detroit Pistons lost 58 straight games last year.
I agree. Pick. Just don't take yourself out of the opportunity. That's what I'm saying. My worry is they're gonna take themselves out of the opportunity. Now I hope they lose today.
Who y'all got coming in town? The Celtics is in town. No, right? The Celtics. Who's in town with Chicago?
OKC.
Tonight?
They'll lose. They'll lose against OKC. But I was surprised about how they played against Milwaukee because I thought Milwaukee would be a tough matchup for us, and we just destroyed them. I did not see that coming.
Me neither.
And I know you told me a couple of months ago that you thought we had our lead guard. I wasn't there, but if he hits the 3 like that, we got something going there.
But I don't even think he needs to hit it like that. But as long as he's respectable, I always thought that Josh Giddey was the real deal. I always felt like that. And
I wanted to hit on something just real quick. I know I don't have that much time. When you guys were talking about the players you're most impressed with, I gotta agree with you on Chet Chill. I'm super impressed with Chet, man. That guy is so good.
Yeah, he is.
He's 100% so good, man. And team.
Could Chet make the All-Star team this year?
I don't see why he can't. Can he be all NBA?
Can he be an all pro? I mean, now we asking, like, we got Sengun, Davis, Domantas Sabonis. I mean, I watched Domantas Sabonis dominate last year. He did not make the All-Star team. If I watched Chet Holmgren at 22 a game make the All-Star team over Domantas Sabonis, I'm out. I'm out.
But if Chet hits the 3 like the way he can, and the OKC Thunder are the number 1 seed by the All-Star break, right? And you see him being in, because he should be in conversation of Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know why people have not been talking about him in those kind of conversations.
Because he came in with Wemby. That's why.
Right.
That's the reason why.
Well, he was a year before, right? But I get what you mean.
He came in with Wemby, essentially.
Right. He should be in those conversations just as much as Evan Mobley, just as much as AD, just as much as Victor. Because what I saw him do to Jokic, I was so impressed. That guy is incredible.
Right.
And then you look at that team, Chill. You might be thinking I'm crazy. That's their bench could start for teams in the East. It's that deep.
Their bench could start for teams in the East. You mean individual players or their whole bench?
Their whole bench.
No, the East isn't. The East is not what you thought it was. No, absolutely not.
Okay, so
they might start, but they'll be over there getting spanked, Adrian.
Yes,
that's a hot take, and we'll have to look into that. But Adrian, we do got to keep moving on.
Good talk to you, brother.
Appreciate you as always. Hey, good luck on that Cooper Flag sweepstakes too, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of people think, Ox, that the Eastern Conference is weak. It's not what it used to be, man. No, this isn't the Eastern Conference from your uncle 15 years ago. This isn't the Eastern Conference from years ago. No, it's a different East today. It just is.
Right.
Way different.
Right. Okay, we got my man Jay. What's up, Jay?
I got 2 questions. One for Ox, and it's about, since you're a King fan, and it's about Sacramento, particularly Sabonis. Do you think that Sabonis is a bad shooter, mostly because he literally doesn't have that skill set, or he doesn't shoot well because he's not a willing shooter?
I don't think he's a bad shooter at all.
You don't think he's a bad shooter at all? Like in the mid-range, at the long ball line?
I don't think he's a bad shooter at all, Jay.
A lot of the shots that he shoots, a lot of the times, the shots that he passes up, he can knock those shots down. A lot of the times when you see Sabonis shooting, it's because he has to, because people leave him wide open. And those are the same shots that he could make with people in his face. He could do that. That's not ridiculous to think that he couldn't do that.
My other question is about Milwaukee. What's going on with them? They just like fell off completely off the face of the earth with that defense. Like, what's going on with them?
Perimeter defense, that's the issue more than anything. When you lose arguably the best perimeter defender in the game and you replace it with buckets, your team's going to look different. And that's what happened with the Milwaukee Bucks. The reason why their team was as good as it was defensively, because they had arguably the best perimeter defender in the game. And that was your point of attack defender. And that dictated everything else with Brook Lopez, with Giannis, with all those other guys. It resonated with the crew. Now that's not the case. We're just going to try to outscore teams. They gave up 130 to the Bulls last night, man. 130. I'm having a difficult time
like,
with Drew Holiday being on that unit. With not just Drew Holiday. If they had a competent point of attack defender, if they had somebody like that, how much better they were in terms of effort, how much better they would be defensively.
Like, they're losing to Chicago, chill. Chicago.
They got blown out, actually, don't let that score fool you. They got blown out last night. They did.
They did? I didn't watch the game.
They got blown out last night. Don't let that score fool you. They destroyed them.
Like, they Chicago of all teams, like going from NBA championship pedigree to now all of a sudden you're losing to Chicago.
Yep.
Really? If you could go back and redo that trade to Dame, who would you trade for instead of Dame?
I wouldn't trade for anybody. I'll keep Drew Holiday.
You keep that whole roster?
Yeah, I ain't trade. Why am I trading Drew Holiday? We weren't that far away. It was Middleton being hurt in order for us to have a shot. Now, maybe looking at it now, I might move off of Middleton. Maybe I can upgrade at that position, but I'm telling you what I'm not doing. I am not moving off Drew Holiday. No, I'm not doing that.
Because the reason they did that trade was to appease Giannis, because Giannis was saying some pretty questionable things about staying on the team if they didn't win a championship. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you had to trade, they kind of had to trade for someone.
Right. But
now, I don't know why they would ever trade.
They didn't have to trade Drew. They didn't have to trade Drew Holiday, though. They didn't have to do that. No.
Giannis told him, man. Giannis told him.
And now he's talking about leaving the team if they don't win a championship now.
Okay, he's not saying that. First of all, he's not saying that. So that's a ploy.
I think he's gone after the year.
Going where though? Now I don't mean where we trade him to. Understand, if he leaves, it's going to be because he asks out. It's not going to be because Milwaukee is like, all right, it's time for us to.
100%.
No, it's going to be because he asks out. Even though they did everything that he asked them to do, he did everything. They did it. They did everything he asked them to do. So
100%. I just don't think that like he personally sees a situation in Milwaukee where he can continue to win a championship. They don't have the prerequisite roster. Like they don't have the money, they don't have the draft capital to trade for other people. They have guys like that no one wants at this point. Like,
but that's their issue, though. Understand something, Jay. That's their issue. They had an opportunity to upgrade at the wing spot, and they passed on Ryan Dunn. You see who Ryan Dunn looks like with the Phoenix Suns defensively. He looks great. So, I mean, we'll see with this Milwaukee Bucks team. But we got to move, Jay.
All right. Y'all have a good one, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, good points. Good points. We'll see what happens with Milwaukee. Once again, as we've stated before, it's early. We'll see what happens with them. Yeah, I just got to keep watching.
Ox, it's okay. It's okay that you don't see it, Ox. It's all right. It's all right. Because I called them fool's gold last year. I did. I called them fool's gold last year. And I'm still on that train. I feel like Giannis, we're going to have another wasted MVP caliber season. That's what's going to happen in Milwaukee. I do. I feel like that.
I don't see it, but also I'm okay with admitting that I don't see everything. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things sneak up on me, and I'm like, oh, that was, that's nice. So Milwaukee might have something. They might be onto something. I mean, they have some great players. I just think as a whole team, they're lacking. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be good basketball either way. So I'm here for it. Yep. Next up, we got my man Real Talk Jit. What's going on, Real Talk?
What up?
You're on mute if you're talking.
Did we have him? Did we not?
Now we'll come.
Well, there he is.
Right
there he is.
There we go.
Yep, we just had him. There you go, right there. Yep.
What's up with y'all? What's up?
What up?
What's good?
I'm getting an echo though. Let me turn off something real quick. I'm getting an echo. There we go. Okay, I'm good now. A few things. Number one, Tyrese Halliburton. You know, it took 30 games. Took 30 games to elevate him over certain PGs in the league. So I'm wondering, is it going to be just as fast for him to descend back down the list?
I don't see why not.
Because as of right now, you know, Cade Cunningham has been playing very well. That's
Somebody
another
gotta
guy
lead a
that
bad
may
team.
potentially pass him up on the list.
Wait, real talk.
Somebody got to lead that team into
Real talk. How y'all know Cade Cunningham playing good? Y'all be watching the Pistons?
Yeah, I watched the Pistons a little bit. Yeah. Matter of fact, I watched the Pistons Pacers game when they played each other. It was the first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
He got busy now. Halliburton got busy that night. He did. He wasn't awful. He was not terrible in that game. However,
he closed the game, but even throughout the game, no, he wasn't. He wasn't
terrible. He wasn't like he was last night. No, he was. Not
last night was an atrocity. 0 points, 0 for 8.
Garbage.
Come on now. But another play I wanted to bring to y'all attention though, outside of Cade, because Cade is hooping. A team rather. The Orlando Magic. I think they're going to be very good this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think Paulo's going to take a leap and get into top 20 to top 15 convos this year. And I'm also wondering, do they finish better than the Knicks potentially in the Eastern Conference? And can they make a conference finals run, in y'all's opinion?
No, I don't think they can make a conference finals run. I got them as the 5th seed in the East because the East is going to be a lot more difficult than what people give them credit for. But watching what I saw last night, and I know I'm not going to overreact, but looking at Milwaukee, they could jump them because I got Milwaukee as 4 in the East. But from what I saw with Milwaukee, that perimeter defense, they could possibly jump them. Even Orlando's offense is not great. A lot of their offense is generated by their perimeter defense, and I think that could help. But I mean, to make a conference finals run, you're gonna have to get some pretty good matchups, and I'm not sure that Orlando, in terms of making a conference finals run, I think that might be a little bit premature for them.
So who are the teams you have in the East that's
they're not better than Boston, they're not better than Cleveland, they're not better than the Knicks, and I'm not sure right now that they're better than Milwaukee. I'm not sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You think the Knicks have been impressive so far? I know it's only 2 games, but I have concerns for them as far as relying on Cat to be a 5. I think Cat really flourished in Minnesota when
he played the 4.
Yeah, he played the 4, and Rudy Gobert was the 5.
Well, they're gonna get Mitchell Robinson back.
Defense.
Yeah, they're gonna get Mitchell Robinson back. And I think that they're going to make a trade at some point to upgrade at the 5 spot. I don't think that they're just going to stick with what they have and keep Cat at the 5. Even though Cat is a glass cleaner, Cat is not an anchor on defense.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Cat down there.
I do too. Yes, I do too. But I think he's much more effective to Real Talk's point. I think he's much more effective at the 4. He played the 4 in college. That's actually where he was the most effective. He was with Willie Cauley-Stein. I think that's where he's the most effective at the 4. So if they could once they get Mitchell Robinson back, we'll see how much more effective they are and Cat playing his natural position. But Orlando's offense does have to improve, and I think it will at some point. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's dependent on, again, the Paulo getting better and Franz getting better, which I just think, Franz has shot the ball well so far this season. So I'm gonna be looking forward to that. Right. But I just think Cat, I don't know. Well, I'll say this: you don't believe in Philly because of like injury history and concern around
the only reason,
Embiid, right?
That's the only reason. I think he's good enough.
So you don't have that same kind of like worry about Mitchell Robinson for that Knicks team?
Yes. The reason why they did what they did with trading for Cat, they pushed all their chips to the front of the table to beat the Celtics. That's a terrible matchup for them. They can't beat Boston. They can't beat them. No, they cannot beat Boston. Not only off the strength of them not being able to shoot with Boston, but Mitchell Robinson's availability is definitely in question.
Yeah. But real talk, that's we got to keep it moving, fam. Appreciate you pulling up as always.
Hey, Ox.
And by the way,
40 and 12 tonight, Ox.
By the way, real talk, just so you know, I did score 9 points against Kobe in that one-on-one. Instead of you talking about him kicking my ass. I did score 9 points against him.
Okay,
Just
chill.
want to make sure it was 11-9 the first time we
that.
played.
Okay.
All right, just remember that. The first time we played, it was 11-9.
I still think, though, that's a little bit of that hate in your heart, chill. That's a little bit of that hate in your heart.
No, hell no. But I did score 9 points against him. It was 11-9 the first time we played.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, but that 40 or 12 ain't happening, bro. This not. It's
this is a new
just
AD.
tune in.
This is a new AD. This is a new AD.
Be that as it may, it's the same DeMontis, and he ain't going for it. So
I hear you.
Remember what I told you? Remember what I told you, Ox? I don't care if you run with different people. I know you.
Right.
I know who you are. So I ain't tripping on these new dudes that you running with, and this now you got your chest poked out. I know this dude, so don't worry about him.
All right, real talk.
Good to talk to you, brother.
All right.
I do know you, Ox.
40 and 12 from AD. I mean, the way he's playing right now is not crazy though. Like the way he's playing right now, 40 and 12 from AD is not. I don't think he's gonna do that, but I'll see where he's coming from though.
Yeah.
All right, let me see who we got next. Oh, we got my man, big friend Breezy. What's up, Breezy?
Real quick, I know I ain't got much time. I just wanted to say the Bucks ain't fooling nobody. We got they pick. They 1 through 4 protected, so they trying to be trash so they could get that 1 through 4
They
pick.
think they slick, Breezy.
They
They
not.
think they slick.
I'm from a town where there's nothing but cans of oil. They not slicker than a can of oil or a patch of ice. Trust me when I tell you that. I'm slicker than a patch of ice. They not slick, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. They trying to get that 1 through 4 pick because they know their chances of winning a championship and contending for a championship the same way when they hurt Kyrie that year is over with. It's over with, bro. I really ain't got much to say. They not slick. The Knicks are what they are. They, like y'all said, I agree with everything. I concur. You know, without Mitchell Robinson, they don't get no no second chance points. Their offense is discombobulated. I showed that the other day. And to Ox, I know how you feel about Cam Thomas, but he averaging 30 right now, bro.
Put it out there.
He had 36 and then he had 24. He's going to stay in that neighborhood, stay in the neck of the woods of 28 plus this entire season. He is a top 5 scorer. I'm not even saying top 10. He's a fringe top 5 scorer for the rest of the season, bro. And I'm out.
All right,
mad at that, Breezy.
All right, Breezy. Good to talk to you, brother.
I'm in the chat.
Good to talk to you, brother.
My
dude
thing
Breezy, he ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah. Yo, chill. It's no way the Bucks are tanking, bro. That's the only thing. Like Breezy, I hear you, Breezy. I respect the takes, but the Bucks aren't tanking.
They not with a 30 and 10 dude on their roster. They're not trying to hear that.
Do that.
No.
That
part
they can't do that.
I ain't buying that.
Yeah, it's no way. They can't do that. That's against the law.
Yes.
No way.
Everybody.
Yeah, facts. Actually, you know what? My bad. I did do an L host move and not read these 2 super chats that I meant to read a couple of callers ago. Let me get to those right now because this is Chill with Chill, and on Chill with Chill, we prioritize super chats.
Yes, we do. They go to the front of the line.
Full Metal Cork says, love the show and PC as well. Thank you for getting me through my work days. I am impressed with Maxey trying to hold it down.
His shot creation has gotten better this season. Him getting downhill, him getting to the rim, his counters, he looks a lot better with that. But furthermore, absolutely, my man, that's what we do. That's why we here. That's exactly why we here. Yep.
Yes, certainly. It was. Hey, we ain't going nowhere either. We'll be.
No,
here.
we right here. We ain't going nowhere. We right here.
Laban Gould wants to know, Chill, would you trade McBride for Marcus Smart?
Have you seen McBride on the Knicks? And have you seen Marcus Smart with Memphis? Nope. I'm good. I'm straight. I am straight.
Yeah, man. Y'all
no,
keep him over there.
I'm straight.
Okay, we got one more caller. He goes by the name of Classic. What up, Classic?
What up?
Yo, what up? Can y'all hear me?
You hot?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yo, what up? Yeah, one of the teams that I've been impressed with is the Hawks. I think that they built that team. Glad they got DeJounte Murray out of there because, I mean, Trae Young's the type of player that you might as well just put the ball in his hands every possession. Yeah. But I'm more impressed around the others playing around him than I am with him. Jalen Johnson, he's real good. Dyson Daniels, he's real good. So I hope they can keep this up, and I hope they can be one of the top seeds in the East. So
Mhm.
Trae Young.
Classic. I'm sorry, man, if I'm not on board
can
with
get
the
back.
Atlanta. I apologize if I'm not on board with the Atlanta Hawks. I just feel like I've been on this train before, and then I got off, and it's hard for me to get back on it, knowing who these dudes are. And I'm a big time. I dig Trae Young, but I just need to see it. I need to see it from Atlanta. It's kind of like they've already shown me who they are over the course of the years, and it's hard for me to believe in anything about this team. It's just hard.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But the team that I'm really impressed with, even though they did it last year, is the Celtics. I mean, and they're playing so good. People are saying the NBA should change the rules.
Here we go.
So what they're doing right now, they changing the game right now.
That's what it
how
sounds
good
like.
they playing.
That's what it sounds like to me.
It's crazy. Some of the takes people are saying the
What
NBA
type
should
of
limit.
rules, Classic? What type of rules?
They saying they should somehow limit how many threes a team should take because they say people don't want to see a team shoot so many threes. I love it. I love how the Boston Celtics play. So I hope
they won a
the
championship
NBA
doing that.
doesn't change the rules because
They can't do. First of all, they can't do that to me. Okay,
that's number one.
Because look, I was this whole time like, man, is this really what basketball has come to? And then last year, I decided, you know what, get on board. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm with this. I'm loving it. And now y'all want to take it back? No. Y'all open up the floodgates. Now deal with it.
Yep. And on top of that, Ox, to your point, y'all didn't want to change the rules when the Warriors was doing it. Now you want to change it now?
Yeah, it was good when Steph and Clay was out here.
Yeah, y'all have a problem with it when them dudes was doing it. Now all of a sudden, teams have caught on, and more people are doing it. All right, we got to change the rules. So if we're gonna do that, Ox, we got to change the rules with. You know what, Ox? You can only have 5 layups a game. How about that? Because you're making too many layups. Get the hell out of here.
I think Nick Wright was saying they should make dunks 3 points. I'm like, what?
And they do make dunks 3 points. They do. You get an and 1, go to the free throw line and make a free throw. It's 3 points. There you go.
Yeah, and then
that's because Nick Wright ain't never dunked the basketball.
He's the player I'm most impressed with because every time Tatum pass,
I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we lost him. We had him in there.
I think White. Yeah, I think White can make an All-Star team. Derek White.
Would he be the first rotation guy to make the All-Star team since Ginobili? But Ginobili started them years that Ginobili made the All-Star team. He started those years. He was a primary starter.
Is there enough spots for Derek White? I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's going to be hard. And essentially what y'all trying to tell me, if Derek White making the All-Star team, the Celtics might have like 4 dudes on the All-Star team, like the Pistons did in 2004.
Could be. Like didn't the Hawks have their whole starting lineup?
They had their whole starting lineup or they had 4 guys. So Horford, Teague, your man Paul Millsap, the Kyle Korver. And I think Al Horford made the All-Star team too. You might be right, Doc. They might have had 5 guys. They might have.
Well, Classic, you got anything else before we go?
No, that's it, man. I love the show, and y'all keep doing your thing.
Absolutely, brother. Good to talk to you.
Appreciate
you. Sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I haven't heard any of that limit to 3 talk. That's actually kind of funny. I'm kind of shocked to hear that.
Yeah, me neither. And Ox, that opens up the floodgates to some whole other shit if you're doing that.
Oh yeah. They can't make a rule like that, Chill.
They can't. No way.
That's such a terrible precedence. Like you're saying, it just opens up everything. Like
everything.
You can't do that.
Imagine saying, "Yo, Barry Sanders, you can only carry the ball 20 times a game. That's it. We're only giving you the ball 20 times. Giannis, you can only shoot 5 layups a game. That's it. You can't shoot more than 5 layups a game. Hell no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
No.
My thing with that is I might not like certain styles of basketball, but I respect that there's more than one way to play the game. I respect that you can do multiple things if you know what I mean. So I'm not with the I don't know the word, not censorship, but I'm not with the oppression of certain basketball.
Restricting guys, sure.
Yeah, restrictions. Yeah, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? If my team can shoot 73s, if we can get that off and you can't do anything about it, hey, by all means, y'all got that's the beauty of basketball. Coach gotta coach. I gotta figure out a way to stop that. And if I can't do it, I deserve to get my ass.
Sure, absolutely. And to your point, Ox, the problem that we have is once one way wins, people think that's the only way you can play. Like you just mentioned, okay, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Yes, there is, but because this team is shooting the long ball, we live in a copycat league. Because everybody is shooting this, that means they can't. This is the only way to win. Okay, this is one way to win. There's other ways we can win. This isn't the only way to do it.
Right. We got another super chat before we get out of here. We got one from Cam Runko. He says, man, I don't know if y'all been watching. Scoot is the real deal.
Talk to this dude right here. Talk to him. Don't talk to me, Cam. Talk to this dude right here. Don't talk to me. Talk to him.
Once they get some structure over there, he'll show it. Just watch him in that game yesterday.
Talk to this dude right here, Cam. Talk to him. Tell him.
I'm not saying anything bad about Scoot. I never drag Scoot. I don't praise him much, but
okay.
I don't praise him much, but I'm I don't got nothing too bad to say about him. I'm gonna watch. Like I said, I'm gonna watch a lot more this year.
Scoot is like a mid chick to you, Ox. That's what Scoot is. Like,
I like mid chicks too.
I love mid chicks.
I like them all. I like them all. Chill. I'm not shallow. Man, and chill. You know me. I love me a good role player. I love a good C+ B- player. Those are my favorite. Ask the chat; they'll tell you.
And Cam, just so you know, he up in Portland, so you would think that he would be more locked into Scoot because he up there. So I'm gonna get my man on board. I am. I'm gonna get him talking about Scoot more. I am 100%.
What
I'm
is
gonna get him
this?
talking about Scoot more.
I see this. So Full Metal Cork says, did you guys see JJ playing ones with the Lakers?
I did not see that. No.
That's what's up. And that's fire though, because JJ is still of the age to where he might not get out there and run fives with them, but he can at least get out there and shoot with the guys and do certain things. He looks like he's still in pretty good shape, but I mean, the shooting, that shooting ain't going nowhere. So
he's around the same age as James. He ain't that much older than James. He around the same age.
Okay, so I'm thinking JJ's like later for it. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
He's around the same age as James. Yeah, he ain't that much older than James. They're around the same age.
That's right. Yeah, JJ still get out there with those guys a little bit. And I bet JJ kills some of those young fellas still.
Yes, sir.
But guys, as you know, that is the show. Claire is blowing up my Telegram. So I'm gonna go ahead before Claire sends those black trucks outside, and y'all don't send me on the panel for the rest of the week.
Y'all know what happens, man, when the suits come. Y'all know what happens.
Man. This was a heck of a show.
Yeah.
Man, I loved it. It was a heck of a show today. It's been a heck of a week of basketball. We got some good games today. We will be lighting the beam in the Staples Center. Y'all make sure to check out some good basketball today. Chill. Anything in particular that you're looking for today in these games? Any team, any matchup, any player?
Me and Mars, we doing the Clippers and the Nuggets today, 5:00 Eastern. So you can definitely come check that out. We'll be doing that. But we will see you guys soon. But until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. When last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. And if you ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, pick up the telephone. See my man right here. He'll come scoop you. He won't leave you out there. He will not. But great show. Good to see you guys. We will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it.
No doubt. Love yourself, y'all. We'll catch y'all next week.
Later.